Association.
Sunny skies, 77 degrees at 6 minutes now past 9, and good morning to WB Ward. Good morning.
Good morning, my good friend.
How are you going? Are things this morning for you?
Oh, things are going about as good as can be at 9:05 in the morning. I tell you, the sun just seems to rise up earlier and earlier and earlier every day for me.
Well, thank goodness it does rise.
Well, at least it's rising, right?
Yes. Now, WB, how long have you been doing your radio show?
I've been doing this, oh gosh, I didn't anticipate that. I would say for at least the last few years anyway. Now, I do know that as of yesterday, I taped the 1,278th episode.
Oh.
And I'm cutting it down to the 2,000 episodes. I know that's no record of any kind by any shake of the stick, but by golly, I'm proud of it.
Well, I know you've been on our station a couple of years, and we started off at 6:15, then we added 12 noon, and now we've got following the 4:30 news.
Awesome. I'm always glad to hear that.
Yeah, give them a lot of exposure.
Well, you know, it never hurts, and as long as I'm in front of good quality people like the great people down in WOPP, Alabama, I know I'm in good company.
Well, you get a lot of facts in a very condensed form.
We do pack an awful lot of stuff into a 2-minute time span. The one thing about producing the show that's always a challenge, it's actually, if you'll forgive me from getting into the minutia, it's actually exactly 1 minute 59.5 seconds long, and we squeeze into that enough material where we cover at least 5 events in history, each event varying in length with its own produced music bed. It takes about 45 minutes just to produce that one little tiny piece of audio. But it is a true labor of love. It's something, well, I've done it 1,278 times, so you got to know I enjoy what I do.
Now, you were in radio before you started doing this?
Oh, yeah. I've been in commercial broadcasting since, excuse me, yeah. I believe my first program director was some guy named Marconi, I think was his name, or something like that. It was a long time ago. We were actually still spinning those big, flat, round black things. I think they were called records, if I remember correctly. And oddly enough, this is a true story. I started. Is it okay if I mention the call letters?
Sure.
Okay, I worked at the rock and roll powerhouse in Tulsa, Oklahoma, called KAKC. And the reason I picked that as a profession was because I thought, here's a job where it's impossible that I could be replaced by a computer. Well, fast forward to 2012 and look at us. I was replaced by my first satellite dish about 5 years later, but I spent about 30 plus years in the business.
Well, you've been in it about as long as I have.
When did you start?
1969.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
1969. I was.
Yeah. Oh.
Do you want to know how old I was?
Sure. Why not?
I was 11 years old. In 1969.
I got a few on you.
That was the year of the first, if I recall correctly, that was the year of the very first American spacewalk.
That's right. Exactly. I was in Atlanta, Georgia when it happened.
That happened on June 3rd in 1969.
You would know that.
Honestly, I am quoting that out of memory. But then again, I'm cheating because that happened on my 11th birthday.
So you got something to remember it quite easy by.
Yeah, I don't have this fantastic memory of history. I really do not. That's why I write everything down. That's the only way I can recall anything. Speaking
of writing, don't you do a little writing too?
Yeah, we're working on a 12-book series right now of Ward's Daily Almanac. We'll have one book for every month of the year. Right now, we have finished the first 7 books, the book of January, the book of February, the book of March, and so on. So we're completed up through the book of July. Hopefully, we're going to be doing some book tours throughout the country, and we're definitely going to do anything we can possibly to make sure that this tour extends down into the WOPP area.
Well, we welcome you by all means. We'll help you set up a place by all means. Now, you do a little speaking, I understand, too.
Yeah, we have the seminar called Footprints, Impressions of a Lifetime. And Footprints, you have all these motivational seminars and things like that, and footprints would definitely fall into the category of motivational. However, I like to look at footprints as being realizational instead of motivational, because it helps us to realize that which we already do. We just don't realize we're doing it. And that's, in the course of today, every person hearing this particular program will go out and impact no less than an average of about 50 or 60 people. And they will impact those people's lives in immeasurable ways just by doing things like, well, believe it or not, fishing for change out of your pocket. You're at the grocery store. You're fishing for change. The person behind you is going to react in one of several different ways. This kind of a realizational attitude on how you're affecting other people's lives kind of helps you design your own life in ways that you're walking in ways providing footprints for other people to follow, even if it's really insignificant, even if the act that you're doing just doesn't really seem to matter at all. Anything you do can have an impact on somebody else's life.
Well, we may have some merchants listening to us also this morning, and I'm sure we do. WB also offers to cut commercials and do voice work to get a different voice on the air, and we love a lot of voices on WOPP.
I love production. I love recording. That was always one of my favorite things to do at work. When I was working in radio full time, of course, and I'm sure you could attest to this too. It was nothing to come into the studio and produce 5 or 6 commercials in one day.
Oh yeah.
So over a period of time, all of us can honestly say we have written, produced, and recorded tens of thousands of commercials in our lifetime. And so after a while, this is an art form, and after a while, you definitely do become an artist in piecing these things together in an entertaining fashion, and being able to sell things from like automobiles to donuts to zoo admissions, all the way down the line, selling anything in 30 seconds or less.
And the thing is, of course, when you work it every day like I do, you go in there and you rip and you do it in a hurry, and you don't sometimes do the production that you can do because you don't have the time. But if you pay somebody with the voice and all that, they take the time and do that extra, and it's worth it by all means.
Oh yeah, it definitely can take some time. I think the longest I ever spent working on one commercial, I believe there was a 60-second promotion that I did one time that took me 3 weeks to produce. In this particular instance, this was covering a charity event back in the 80s, I believe it was. It was it was where Hands Across America came through Oklahoma, and we were producing a local spot that came here, and I had to go around and collect different audio bites from different areas. And all in all, it took about 3 weeks to produce that one commercial.
Wow. So,
yeah, you're right. It can be a very time-consuming process.
I think the big learning curve for me was when I was working with a 100,000-watt station in Dothan. In fact, every commercial, you spent 2 hours on it, required. And sometimes your first cut is the best. You and I both know that if you're right in the mode. But you spent 2 hours trying to get it better.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. You're right. The first impressions are generally the best ones, but you always try to put another one in the can just for it. We've always called it safety's sake. Personally, I felt it was just because I didn't want to leave the production booth anyway. So I was better off just taking there playing around for a while.
Didn't want to carry out the garbage. Now,
absolutely.
Now, if they want to find out a lot more about WB Ward, what can they do?
Well, of course, oddly enough, there happens to be a website that coincidentally is the same name. It's WBWard.com. I always kind of thought that was neat how that worked out. But just about anything you would ever want to know and could possibly care to forget about me, just by going to WBWard.com. We have I have my CDs up there. The available books are that we have so far are there, as well as, of course, the list of fine radio stations that carry Ward's Daily Almanac, such as WOPP, is mentioned on there as well, with links to all of the radio stations. And you can actually read the almanac from day to day there. Also, you can subscribe to it via email from that same website.
He's also a Facebook fan.
Oh yeah, we do the social media. Facebook is the only place where I do the social media. I don't do Twitter or anything like that. I haven't got into that end of it. But I do have the my Facebook page. As a matter of fact, let's see, what's your name? I'm not going to give a last name. Joy is listening to us right now. She's on my Facebook page. Let's see, footprints and mindfulness. She wrote a comment on here. Footprints and mindfulness go hand in hand. It's good to be aware of all you do and say each day because in some way, whether major or minor, there is an impact on your surroundings.
Yeah.
I couldn't have said that better myself. Bless her heart.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got people listening in from Facebook all across the country right now. So good morning, my Facebookers.
Right on. Well, WB, I guess thought it was a good time to get back on. I think we had you on about a year ago, maybe. And
it was a year ago, February, as a matter of fact.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I like to do that just to show people that the hear on the radio are personal and carry on another life, and we appreciate the show that you do because it is well produced.
Well, God bless you. I appreciate you saying that.
Well, have a good one, and maybe we won't wait a whole year to talk to you again.
Okay, my friend.
Okay.
We'll talk to you guys later.
Thank you, WB. Bye-bye. All right, W.B. Ward, and his show is at 6:15 with us each morning, and then, of course, at 12 noon, and also at following the 4:30 news in the afternoon. And Saturday morning, I think